What is going on, YouTube? Lamont at large. Today I'm at the Garfield Park Cemetery here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I'm here to visit the grave of one Bobby Debarge. Bobby Debarge, of course, he is the eldest of all the Debarge siblings, very famous singers in the 70s and the 80s, and a very tragic story about the Debarge family and ultimately what happened to them all. Bobby Debarge was born in Detroit, Michigan, March 5th, 1956. He was born to Robert and Edeline Debarge. Now, Debarge family, all very musically talented, and they get that talent from their mother because she is a very good gospel singer in her own right. Eventually, the family made their way here to Grand Rapids, and unfortunately, you also find other things when you are a kid, when you're curious, adventurous, and Bobby found heroin. He actually started doing heroin when he was a teenager. I think he was 15 years old. So him and his friends, they had a band, and they had tried out for a background band that Barry White was looking for, and they auditioned and they made it. And the band was called White Heat, and they would perform with Barry White, but then I guess Barry White disbanded them over a money issue. So they went ahead and they recorded music on their own, eventually changing their name to Switch. And they called themselves Switch because all of them played different instruments, and they were able to play each other's instrument and just switch and just jump on the guitar, jump on the drums, jump on the piano. And they eventually linked up with Jermaine Jackson, and he produced their first two albums, and they both went gold. I don't know why they moved away from Jermaine Jackson. They came out with a third album that also went gold too. And even though Switch never really had a really big like hit song, I mean, they were very popular in the 70s. However, the problem with Switch was that Bobby was a hardcore drug addict, and it would create a lot of tension in the band. Later on, Bobby went to go sign with Motown in 1983. And while he was with Motown, hey, they want to pay him. He was very, very talented. He had that very high falsetto voice, similar somewhat to Michael Jackson. Not the same, not comparing them, but, you know, oftentimes people would compare them. And I think a lot of times with the Debarge family, because they were always constantly being compared to the Jackson 5, and, you know, Bobby would get some comparisons to Michael Jackson, and Elle would too. Now, eventually, the group Debarge, they became very popular. They had that one hit song, Rhythm of the Night. And you could have sworn, being a music fan back in those days, that these guys were gonna blow up. And they kind of sort of did. But they just didn't obtain the success that they should have, in my personal opinion. And that was due to a couple factors. Number one, drugs. The family it was really weird. I think practically everybody in the Debarge band did drugs. And number two, I don't want to call it greed or jealousy, but, you know, listen, Elle, in my opinion, he was probably the best singer of all of them. He wanted to go out on his own. He's looking at Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is huge. So this guy sees Michael Jackson, and he's like, man, I want to leave the band. I want to create my own footprint. I don't blame him, you know what I mean? So he left, Bunny left. They wanted to do their own solo careers. Bunny's looking at Janet Jackson, and it's just like they want to be bigger stars, you know what I mean? That's how it works. So Bobby, he joined the Debarge band and took over for singing and vocals. And things were going okay. And then it all came crashing down So in 1988, Bobby and his brother Chico Debarge, they had some cocaine. And I guess they had bought some cocaine in LA, and they flew back to Detroit, and they got caught with it. They got caught with about 2 pounds of coke. And Bobby got 5 years in prison. And while he was in prison, he was getting real sick. And he didn't know what was wrong. And finally, the prison official said, yeah, you have AIDS. And he would get sicker and sicker and sicker in prison. And he finally got released. And, you know, he went back into the studio and he made one more album called It's Not Over. And as he was working on this album and mixing it and everything, he was just continuing to get sicker and sicker. He did finish the album, but he was so sick, the family ended up putting him in a hospice out here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And sadly, he would never get to live to see the album released and see the sales of the album, because he died in hospice on August 16th, 1995. And he, you know, died from AIDS. We didn't have the medical technology that we do now where it could be managed, sadly enough. And this is the grave of Bobby Debarge. A rather simple grave for a man that just, you know, he was such a big star. And, you know, I mean, they had some, you know, the Debarge family as a collective had really, really good songs. And they had some good hits. And I just think that the drugs just, you know, it just ate that family up. That was it, you know. You know, constantly being compared to the Jacksons but never seeing that success nowhere near what, you know, Michael Jackson and Janet seen, you know. Very, very sad. And, you know, I do think that Elle and Bobby and Chico, I believe they were, you know, they did rival the Jacksons. I can't compare them to Michael Jackson, but I mean, they were, you know, in that realm. But you know, if it wasn't for the drugs, who knows what this family, you know, what they could have accomplished. But it's just, yeah, drugs is a bad thing. I said it all the time. So rest in peace to Bobby Debarge, beloved son. Okay, guys, I'm on at large. I'll catch up with you on the next vlog. Be good, y'all. And by the way, if you were watching my live stream, thank you y'all for helping me find this grave. I was here at night and I was walking around and around and around, but I had fun doing it, and I look forward to doing more nighttime cemetery streams. So don't forget to hit that notification bell. That'll let you know when I'm live. That'll let you know when I upload a video. That'll let you know where I'm at. And I look forward to you guys being into my lives more often. Okay, guys, I will see you later. I'm hitting the road. Peace out.